Do you have a hankering for horror knowledge?
We have such sights to show you.
Do you require raging retro reviews? Do you desire discussions with devastatingly dashing dorks?
2 out of 3, baby.
The Dorkening Podcast Network has nearly 30 shows to satisfy all of your nerdy, geeky, and dorky needs, from horror reviews and celebrity interviews.
Hi, I'm Adam Green, the director of the Hatchet films and the star of Holliston.
Hi, this is Dominic Pace, who played the bounty hunter Gecko from The Mandalorian.
Hi, I'm Mike Price. I'm a writer on The Simpsons. I co-created F is for Family.
Hi, guys. This is Dee Wallace from E.T. and Cujo.
Hi, my name is Kurando Mitsutake, director of Gun Woman and Karate Kill.
Hi, this is Samantha Newark, the voice of Jem and Jerrica from the original Jem and the Holograms cartoon series.
As well as nostalgic trips into the past, pop culture, the latest in entertainment news, and so much more, featuring a variety of shows and hosts that will simultaneously enrage, enlighten, and entertain you. Check out the Dorkening Podcast Network.
My mom says I'm cool.
Available on iTunes, Spotify, thedorkening.com, and wherever fine podcasts can be found.
Welcome to the Epic Tales from the Sewers podcast. Strap into the party wagon and hold on to your pizza. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Epic Tales from the Sewers. I am your host, Justin, and here is my co-host, Mr. Eric Will. How you doing, Eric?
I'm doing fantastic. How you doing today there, Justin?
Doing awesome. Thanks for joining me again. We've got some guests today, some very special guests, not strangers to the podcast at all. So our good friend from Tales from the Podcast and his other show, 2G1C, Mr. Host with the Most, JB. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing awesome. And here as well, returning to the show, previous guest and the CEO, president, emeritus of Cutthroat Comics himself, Mr. Josh Nealis. How you doing, Josh?
Oh, not bad. What's up, partners?
We're doing good, man. Ready to talk some turtles and just to hear a little bit about what you guys got going on, because you've got some fun stuff going on, it seems like, with these Kickstarters.
Yeah.
Very busy, both of us.
So let me start off with
Josh
you, JB.
is my boss now.
Is he your boss?
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
That's awesome. So you're his sensei, his master splinter, as we say over here. So JB, you've got a new comic that's coming out. It's called Tales of Shock and Terror. And the write-up on this one says it's a horror comic book done in the vein of EC Comics from the late 1950s with 3 short stories drawn by Drew Moreland, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, most people who listen to this show will not be unfamiliar with your voice because we always play your Tales from the Podcast. So it's right at the end of the show, so everybody always hears it. And hey, this is JB, and if you like Tales from the Crypt, so just to get everybody up to speed, JB is huge on Tales from the Crypt. So anything like that, and I mean we've talked before about the eerie comics and all of that. So this is tell us a little bit about it. How'd you get started with it, and where's it going?
Well, this is an idea that I had a few years ago, and I've been kind of just like waiting for the right group of people to be able to put together a horror anthology comic book. I am a huge EC fan. In fact, I just got 3 more issues today in the mail.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I got some problems, but
we all do.
Yeah, we can relate to that.
Which, for those that are unfamiliar, EC Comics are the ones I brought you. Basically, the entire comic book line that is responsible for the show Tales from the Crypt, which is multiple comic lines, to be honest. I'm not going to go huge into that. Do some research, look into it. You'll fucking love it, and you'll be happy. Am I allowed to swear?
Well, I can't stop you now, but that's fine. Say what you got to say, man. It's all right.
All right, I won't do it again. Anyways, yeah, this is just something I've had in the works for a while. I've been wanting to do. ended up meeting Drew Moreland, who did a lot of her art school and film school through the Douglas Community Center, which is the art school in Philadelphia that Tom Savini teaches at, for all you horror fans.
No kidding.
Yeah, all of her artwork is done by hand. One of the covers is even hand painted. There's time-lapse videos on the Kickstarter, which can really actually show some of the talent that she has. And, she did an amazing job. And, after coming up with everything and talking to everybody, I was like, I know so many people, and, I've always really got along with Josh here. And I got a hold of him too. And, he was all for me doing this and kind of guided me along the process of doing it, what I needed to make sure I had. And obviously I have over 30 days left. We're over 250% funded at the moment. So, you said Josh is my sensei. I'll say he is one hell of a sensei.
That's awesome.
It's awesome.
So Josh, are you then like editing the book for him as well?
Yeah, I did that first. That was before Drew even started drawing it. I read each story and kind of put my input on it and made them just a tad bit better, just a hair.
Just a hair. Okay, that's good. Is there anything that you read that like shocked you that came out of JB? Anything like that? Like something that you're like, oh my God, I wouldn't have expected that.
No,
it didn't shock you. Okay.
No, anybody that's read any of my stuff, you're not going to catch me off guard probably. But yeah, it was JB's story is cool. I like all three stories. His has a fun take. All three stories are something you've heard them before, but they've each got their own little twist on it. And JB specifically has like a modern twist on it, I think, and that's what I really liked about it. I was like, that's okay. I like what how like when Scream came out, the first one, the original one, it's got that twist of like, are we in a scary movie? These are the movies.
Oh yeah.
So JB's has like sort of a twist on it like that. Not exactly like that, but similar in a way. And I was like, that's cool. It's fresh. You take an idea and you make it fresh, and that's what I liked about his story specifically.
Are either of you familiar with any horror comics right now that are coming out of the big two publishers like Marvel or DC? Because I know like when it comes to horror, it's always been like the independents, and you've got like your Dark Horse and probably Image, I think still has some and things like that. But is anyone like doing good horror comics that you're either aware of?
I've heard that Stephen King's boy there has a couple coming out that
Joe Hill
telling me about. But yeah, I like I said, I'm still buying copies of EC Comics, and if you ever get the chance, go on eBay, look at the price of EC Comics, and you'll understand why you can't afford any other comics.
Yeah, no, that's very fair. So, how about you, Josh? Anything that you're reading or aware of?
What is DC has that Deceased? I'm not sure exactly what that is, but that's some kind of something, isn't it? And then of course Marvel does their zombies from time to time.
I think there's vampires right now. It's like DC versus vampires. What do we have? A couple years ago we had actually I think it just finished last year, but there was one called The Immortal Hulk. If you ever get a chance to check that out, that was really cool.
Okay.
So basically it's like the Hulk, but he gets cut up into little pieces and is still living, and he's kind of like a giant immortal zombie, and he's just like this incredibly vengeful sort of character. It's nuts. It's not like anything you've ever read.
Oh, okay.
As a Hulk book, not like anything you've ever read, because But anthology is just so well suited towards horror. I have been like the biggest proponent for, I think Ninja Turtles needs an anthology book, like just some small vignettes that they put into something. It's like small stories that are bite-sized. So to put you guys on the spot as writers here, and Eric, I'll put you on the spot here too. If you were going to write a short vignette story, right, like one of these horror stories, it could be horror or it could be slice of life, whatever you like. What kind of direction would you go in for if you're going to write a turtle story? And whoever can pick up and start with this.
I would definitely do something where I'm like collaborating with it and everything. Because I mean, with the Ninja Turtles, it's a pretty big property. So you could basically license anything with it. So like if I was especially going to go the horror route, I would do something like Ninja Turtles meets Ghostbusters, and they go on a journey and, end up having to, basically go through one of the Ghostbuster shenanigans, and like from like the real Ghostbusters or something, and kind of save the world from some demonic kind of creature.
There's so much that you could do with both of those properties. Absolutely, it could go on like indefinitely.
Right, that's for sure. I think with the turtles, I think that's personally like my best bet with it. You could always do an original one, but I think combining it with something else would always be great, kind of like the Mars Attacks versus comics and stuff.
Oh yeah, those were fun. I remember my dad had the card set, I think, growing up. That was fun to look at. How about you guys? Any thoughts? What would you do for, like, if you had to write a short story? What would it be themed?
Just listening to that, and I was thinking the whole time, and JB knows I'm pretty good with ideas. I'd go Casey Jones meets the Evil Dead.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
That could be fun, I think.
I like that a lot. How about you, Eric? Any thoughts on what you would do? I know it involves Raph, I'm sure.
No, actually, it doesn't actually involve
okay.
me personally. Actually, I kind of said something to Ben Bishop on one of his comments, on one of his posts that he had, and I was actually thinking about The Walking Dead with the Turtles.
Yeah, that'd be fun, right? Like they're left, and what's left behind afterwards, sort of like a post-apocalyptic. That's a great idea. I got to tell you, my idea, guys, would involve action figures. It would be like a Toy Story with like Turtles figures. That's kind of how it would be, just for all of this. Like, JV knows because I think I sent you a Donatello, right?
yeah, two of them. Yeah, and a really, really snazzy hat. I still wear.
Gotta love that hat.
Oh, dude, driving and doing mail these days, it's definitely nice. It's been cold around here.
So with this, I noticed that you've got some covers, right? You've got 4 covers. Cover A, The Mask, then Weathering the Storm, and it's Pighead is the last one.
Pig-headed, yes.
So
yes.
with your stretch goals, are you planning on doing any additional covers for these?
Well, no. With the stretch goals, we're just basically giving more free stuff. I mean, we're less than $50 away from our next stretch goal, which is going to be some sketch cards. Then after that, we are going to be doing some buttons once we hit $1,000. I'm in talks with somebody about helping us do some trading cards if we're able to surpass that. The thing with these extra covers is other than a rare signing event or something like that, we're not going to sit there and do much with covers B through D. So the only cover that's going to be available for the general public after the Kickstarter is going to be A, unless it's like a special event. So we're kind of pushing the 4 cover sales, which is definitely our biggest sales right now, and you save quite a bit of money that way. But like I said, that's the only way that anybody's going to be able to get these other covers for the most part.
Geez, I was just thinking about my Kickstarter order that I got from Turkey Sharks from Josh's book. I got my 4 covers in, and I know you've got a Kickstarter going yourself. With this, are you going to be releasing all the covers that you've done?
You talking to me?
Yes.
You mean for Turkey Sharks 1?
Yes.
Except for the Kickstarter exclusive, which you would have got, I think.
Oh,
right?
cool.
The Breakfast Club one.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Yep. That was limited to the first Kickstarter that we did for Turkey Sharks 1. Turkey Sharks 2, which starts on March 4th, so this Friday. We got 4 more covers. A cover, which is actually probably one of my favorite covers of any of my comics of all time. It's like super soft. It's awesome. And then of course we have another Kickstarter exclusive, which is really cool too. And then we got 2 more covers, one by Tyler Haddix, and then another one by Sean Forney and Rodney Fike, which if you are a 80s to 90s kid, you will want this cover. That's all I'm going to say right now. You'll have to go check out the Kickstarter and see. And as soon as you see it, you'll be like, I need that.
In the spirit of that sounds rad.
Yeah. Let's just say if you like Jim Lee, you're going to want this cover.
Oh, cool. Yeah. No, I was a big fan of the other ones that you had. It's a really hot chick on one of them. So, that's probably the exclusive that I got, the Kickstarter. But
no, that was the Chris Mad cover.
Yeah, that was really cool. I like that.
Those are still available, but the price is higher. actually now on the website. So I do them for $8 on the Kickstarter. After that, they go up to 10. So you save a couple bucks by pledging on the Kickstarter.
The coolest thing about Josh's website is that you had, like, I think you were selling like a jump drive that had, like, for $40 you can get literally everything you ever wrote. And I'm like, that's fantastic. Like, the amount of content that you can just consume from something like that is just unreal.
Yeah, I think it's 50 now for everything. For every book and every comic I've ever written, it's $50 now, because I've written several others since then. And actually, the con I did yesterday, I don't sell many of them, oddly, but a guy bought all the comics, and it's $30. You get every comic.
Oh, wow!
A little flash drive. So
yeah, and your novels are on there too, aren't they?
Yeah. So I have 3 different things. I have all the books, all the comics, or all everything. So yeah, if you want the books or comics, it's 30, and then for everything, it's 50. An extra $20 gets you, like, depending on what you want. I mean, I've written like 10 books and 11 or 12 comics now. So I mean, that's a lot for
it is
$50. Selling my soul here, guys.
I got most of that soul.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you? Yeah. You're collecting it, so you send it back in shards.
I got a lot. Andy signs it, so I mean, you can't beat that.
I send him nudes and stuff as a thank you. Like, all the time.
He doesn't sign those though, so it's not fair.
Have you had any of your stuff graded? Like, have you sent it out to be like CGC graded, or was it Eric CSBC or something? CBS?
CBCS.
Yep. A buddy of mine works for CBCS, and I see him all the time at these cons. So yeah, most of my stuff, I mean, the newer stuff hasn't been graded yet, because I mean, it takes a while. Like, I sent something in last year in whatever month 7 is. June or
July.
And it's still not back yet. And I've got several books that I created that are in that package, amongst I think like a first Rogue, a first Punisher and the War Machine, for Scarlet Spider. Like, I got a bunch of books, like a big stack of them coming at some point. But
were you talking about like a Avengers Annual number 10 Rogue Source Experience? Okay.
Yep. And then,
sorry, I just had to be a nerd there for a second.
Yep. First Wonder Twins is in that one too for my kid. I'm pretty excited about that, and they just announced like a movie or something for that. So
I saw. Didn't you just pick up some Walt Simonson Thor books too, like the Bettery Bills?
Yep, they're right on my wall right there.
Oh,
yep.
Man, that's cool stuff.
You know what? What did I pay for that? I got an 8.0 first Beta Ray bill and a 7.5 second Beta Ray bill, and I think I paid like $215 or $225 after shipping and taxes.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
That's a good deal. I didn't even want the second appearance. It just kind of came with it.
Let's see. So that's so cool. I mean, that's the goal. Like, one of my 5-year plans is to, try to get a Turtles book published, like a story or anything else like that. So I'm working on a really cool one. So hopefully that'll be something that I could eventually do. But I love it. You guys are living the dream here.
Well, and actually we got a small connection with the Turtles now. Like I mentioned that Sean Forney was doing a cover for Turkey Sharks 2. He has worked on Turtles. I forget which one, but he has.
That's cool.
He did a cover. I don't remember which one it was though.
That's usually Eric's department. So usually he'll be like, which one is it? Is it the A? Is it the B? Is it graded? And then he'd tell you how to get it.
It was an IDW. I know that much.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I can't remember though.
Yeah, we'll have to look him up, because I should know the name, but
I've seen his name around. I've seen the cover. I think I've seen the cover before, but I can't put it to it. You know what I'm saying right now? Because I mean, to be honest with you, I've been lost a lot of the Ronin covers. I mean, you got 90 different main variants of that one. It's kind of hard to keep up.
Oh, it's insane. And I mean, that's the thing that we're talking about most of the time right now with this Last Ronin, which is coming out in April 20th now. So it's coming out on the 6th. Yeah. It's crazy. And I mean, with this, like the amount of variants that they have, that's why I was asking you about the covers that you have there, JB, because they're going to have 90. I mean, I pre-ordered no shy of 16 of these so far. So it's a bit of an obsession.
Well, we made it really easy. There's only 4. So, I mean, if you want to collect them all, go on there, check out the Kickstarter. I will greatly appreciate it. And I will forward you Josh's nudes.
Oh, okay. All right. That's good. That's going to be one of the stretch goals. So, yeah.
Right.
That's funny, man.
He's already going to help sign some of them and give away digital copies of Turkey Shark. So let's just include one more thing from him.
So what looks like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Universe 1, I think.
Oh, no kidding. Okay,
Universe
cool.
1.
So he must have done the B cover then.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, because the A cover was a friend of the show, Freddie Williams II. So he did the first covers of those like all the way through. I want to say like issue 12 or something. So that's great.
It's actually a pretty awesome cover. I might actually buy this and then get him to sign it.
Why not, man? If you got that connection, absolutely.
Yeah, he and I are. I mean, we're not like super good friends, but we're friends. We've known each other for a couple years. He doesn't live that far. He lives in Columbus, so Ohio.
That's good. So you work a lot of the
might
same
have to pick
cons.
that one up too. Then I mean,
That's a hop, jump, and a skip from me, man.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you're going to some cons here, Eric, and Josh works a lot of cons. I know he just got done with one. You guys plan on going to any cons together for Cutthroat and for Tales of Shock and Terror?
About me,
yeah,
me and JB.
Yeah, together. You know.
Yeah. We've talked about it a little bit. Go ahead, JB.
Yeah. Well, we got one that's like really close to me that we're definitely going to do. I'm in talks with a signing, which I'm definitely I'm pretty sure I mentioned it to Josh already, and I want to see if I can get both of us doing that as well. Basically anything that's going to be within like 20-30 mile radius of where I am, which I mean, Josh basically hits up way more than I could actually get to. I'll be honest with him about that, but any of them that are within travel and distance for me, I mean, I'm going to be there 100%. I'm all about promoting this book and getting it out there and doing what I can to, basically do my part and not only help sell my book, but, I'm also selling the Cutthroat Comics name on there. So trying to, be a businessman, get my shit going. I did it again.
You're fine. It's all right.
Jiminy Crickets.
Now, Eric, I know you had a question about one of the covers that you were going to ask JB.
Absolutely. I'm actually sitting here, staring at it, to be honest with you. So the Weather the Storm.
Yes.
And then he paused. Okay.
Not to slight anybody, but I think I like that cover the best. And you know why?
That's cool.
It looks like a Last Ronin cover is why. When she drew it, I was like, that looks like the one Last Ronin cover. So
yeah. You paused there, Eric.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. No, the Weather the Storm cover.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a homage to the issue 4 main cover for the Ronin.
That's exactly.
With these extra covers, so what we decided to do is, like I said, there's 3 short stories in this comic book. So our cover A kind of has a little bit from every story kind of like hidden throughout it. But then each other cover is basically based off of one of the stories inside of there. The Weather the Storm cover is, I can't really say her inspiration if she's actually seen that comic, to be honest with you. I know as far as hers and I's conversations, the only comics that she basically reads are like some older DC and a lot of the Flash. I don't know if she's too big into the Turtles, if she ever even saw that, but that one is actually based off a story from our friend Ron Purdy, which I purposely say his name wrong to get his attention. And,
it's so purdy.
But I mean, it's an interesting story. It gives a good idea of what the story is about, though, in a vague way. You can tell that there's some kind of creature. You can tell it happens at winter. Obviously, with the bloody tracks going through it, but
all the stories take place in winter. Remember?
Yeah, that was actually.
So it's relatable.
Well,
it's cold as hell.
It wasn't planned.
Oh, cool.
No, yeah.
Well, it was, one of them was not. And remember, we had that one meeting. I was like, "Can it?" And you guys were like, "Yeah, sure." I'm like, "Perfect. Do the theme."
Yeah, it was one of those things where like 2 of them were, and then it's like the one wasn't really chosen of when it would took place. Really, we just had to kind of push that it was. But yeah, interesting thing.
Do you get any sort of like Stephen King vibes going on when you when you look back at this kind of stuff, like Storm of the Century or anything along those lines? Maybe Misery.
I don't know, like
exactly what I was thinking of with the tracks.
Well,
the,
I mean,
the weather
like
the storm cover.
the weather the storm one is like, just to be kind of, I don't want to be too spoilery about it, but it's a pretty simple story. I wouldn't say there's really any kind of Stephen King vibe about that one for sure. It's
And
a
that's
simple
fair,
story, but it is like it's done well. Not a lot of dialogue, but it's really effective. And this is me kind of putting it vaguely. Uh, Pig-headed is like basically kind of like a an ode to like a slasher style comic.
I thought Saw a little bit myself when I read it.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then I don't really know how you would say mine. Mine's like, you kind of described it a little bit already. There's definitely a little bit more gore in mine. I could say that much. That's about all I like. I don't really know what I could really describe it as. It's I thought it was a fun story, but the artist said it kind of messed her up a little bit.
Did it really?
She said that her exact words were, "I can tell you were in a really dark place when you wrote this."
Oh my goodness.
So there's there's a murder scene in that you would not really expect, to say the least. So yeah, it's a story.
Well, that's cool. I mean, that's enough to get me up and interested in it. And I've been following the stuff that Josh is doing, so I could say that I'm going to be interested in this too. I got to get on that Kickstarter. Sounds like you've got at least 30 days left, and Josh will be starting his this Friday. It sounds like.
Yep.
Yeah. Hopefully they end pretty close to the same time and get all this printing done. I mean, I'm sure Josh is ready to get boxes and boxes of books at his house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have a con in April, and I was thinking about booking one, but at the same time, I was like, I'm going to be doing a lot of Kickstarter stuff, so maybe I'll take that one off and focus on that. And I worked out all my stretch goals today and got that graphic ready to go, and so it's coming around. I'm waiting on one more cover, which should be here tonight, and then I got to throw some logos on it, and that's all she wrote.
Nice. That's good. It sounds efficient. I mean, you make it sound simple almost.
It's not.
I'm sure it's not.
JB, that's the fun thing for me is, a lot of my friends and stuff, they don't quite get it. They don't quite understand how much work it really takes. And having someone like JB, who I talk to all the time now, having him go through this process and get a peek at it, like having somebody get it is nice.
Yeah, and I appreciate the insight, dude. And I could say like I said, like the knowledge and stuff I've learned from him is clearly effective, and you can tell by just looking at the Kickstarter. We got over 30 days left, and we're overfunded. Like everything now is just making it better, making us be able to do more for the people buying it, and being able to print off more copies so that hopefully we get it at a cheaper rate, because usually when you buy more, you save more, and have a stockpile. So when I go to these conventions with Josh, I don't have to be like, Josh, man, do you have any extra covers and copies of mine so I can sell them? And, I
that's the thing. The original Turtles run was 3,000 copies, and they self-published. If you have one of those things now, I mean, you could buy a house. So, right.
My buddy Greg has. I sent you a picture.
Your buddy Greg has everything, dude. He is something else. Yeah.
His collection is insane. That is for sure. Yeah, that guy. I think he has like 4 copies of number 1.
Yeah, 9.8 graded, like ridiculous.
Oh yeah. Married? Huh? Did you say, does he want to get married? Is that what you said?
Yeah, he let me in this group, and it was like collectibles $500 and up, right? So it's absurd, like the type of stuff.
It's hard to afford any of the stuff he has. It's ridiculous. He's like, all right, here's one of my cheap ones. It's like, oh wow, that's like $4,400.
And it's all like good stuff. I'm like, oh my god, that's like the first appearance of this person. He's like, oh yeah,
did you see his recent collection of crows?
No, I have not. No, the Joe A. Barr book. Wow.
Oh, James O'Barr. Yeah. I mean, Like, don't get me wrong, I have the special edition like graphic novel signed by him and stuff, but
I do as well.
You know, Greg.
He was everywhere in the '90s, so it's like you could get that. But man, those original books are just like crazy.
He lives right by us. Like he lives in Michigan, and he's always at the cons around here. He'll be at the Pop Fest, I'm sure, again.
Yeah.
But I think he got the first print, second print, third print, multiple copies, and his first print I think is like a 9.6 of The Crow, and that's not a cheap book either. I mean,
no, definitely not.
First print. You know,
wow.
But you know that's a guy who wrote and drew his stuff.
Yeah,
he's amazing. But yeah.
I don't know anyone who was collecting comics back in like say 1996 that was not either aware of that book or had like a copy. It was just like it was like required reading, and everyone had a copy that someone's like, hey, you got to check this out. So you're like, oh, the movie's coming out. Oh, I want to check that book out. So
I got so many copies of that movie, man.
Yeah, this is like still the best soundtrack that there's ever been for a movie. At least in my opinion.
I will die by that. In fact, the Cure's "Burn" is still one of my favorite songs.
I'm listening to it in my head right now. So, that and the Ghost Rider by Henry Rollins and all that. Yeah, I mean, I could go off on another tangent on that. So
it's one of the best soundtracks, though. It's like right there next to Ninja Turtles #2, which is another one I have.
You did tell me that you have that. So besides the Ninja Rap by Vanilla Ice, what else is on that?
Nothing
there
good.
There were some good songs on that.
On the second one, I'm all about the first one with like Spin That Wheel and stuff, and this is what we do. Partners in Crime.
CNC Music Factory had a good song on that one.
Did they really?
Yeah, I had it on tape. I used to listen to it all the time, but I can't remember what all is on there now.
CNC Music Factory is like
all the cassettes.
The cassettes. So CNC Music Factory is like the ultimate workout music of the '90s. And I don't know, it's like just like with the tempos and everything. You're like, yep, good vibration. It's like, well, I guess that's Marky Mark, but still, it's
I'm trying to think because like I don't like there wasn't a lot of songs on that one to begin with, but. Like the Ninja Rap was like the one that I personally listened to a lot. It was definitely probably like my introduction to rap music, but I mean, like I think there's like maybe 10 songs on that one. I don't think CNC Music Factory was on there though.
I'm almost positive they were.
Well, I know they just released a vinyl pressing of this with like Toka and Razor on the front. So I've seen that. Like Kevin Eastman's been selling that signed. And I think it's in like mutagen green or something for the Secret of the Ooze.
I got the set list right here. So Ninja Turtles 2, and this is there's only 10 tracks. There's Awesome by Ya Kid K. There's the Ninja Rap by Vanilla Ice. Find the Key to Your Life by Kathy Dennis and David Morales. Move by Tribal House. That's Your Consciousness by Dan Hartman. This World by Magnificent V. Creatures of Habit by Spunkadelic. Back to School by Fifth Platoon. Cowabunga by Orchestra on the Half Shell. And Toka and Razor, the Monster Mix Orchestra on the Half Shell. That's it.
I would be absolutely shocked if any of you have seen any of them live.
My first introduction to Ninja Turtles is actually being at, and then having I have the VHS still of them, but my dad took me to it, was the Coming Out of Their Shells tour.
That would be this, correct?
The
Coming Out of Their Shells.
My case, it looks different. My case is almost holographic.
Oh, nice. Josh actually got this from our good friend Steve at Retro Red Octopus. He sent this over to me. So
that Move song, I think, is the one I was thinking of.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I'm kind of listening to it right now. It sounds like.
I'll have to play a clip of it on this one. I'll find a little clip of that just so everyone can have some perspective.
Play it right now.
Go for it.
Yep.
This sounds like them.
Oh yeah, that's definitely got that CNC Music Factory vibe to it.
Right.
Yeah.
late 90s Michael Jackson too, kind of in there.
And I was like 9 or 10 or whenever that came out. I wouldn't have known the difference.
I thought Rasta Man was a good song on the Vanilla Ice CD, so don't look at me for good taste.
That was a good CD back in the day. I liked most of the songs on that.
I don't know if I still like them, but I mean, fourth grade Justin would tell you that it was a good B-side. It'll be like, yeah, Rasta Man, it's a good song. Yeah. I don't know why I remember that one and none of the others of the Vanilla Ice one, but I can't be a bastion of good taste on absolutely everything, but I'm like, well, he was in Turtles. He can't be completely bad. So, yeah.
I will love him forever just because of that, honestly.
Any love for the Turtles 3 soundtrack with Tarzan Boy?
I don't think there's much love for the Turtle 3 movie soundtrack.
I like that movie. Maybe not the soundtrack, but I like that movie. I don't care.
Really? I didn't really care for that one, to be honest with you.
It's got its moments, man.
Like, it's not horrible, don't get me wrong, but like the changing of the costumes, like even at a young age, bothered me.
Yeah. Well, they changed it. They changed them in all 3 movies, didn't they? A little bit.
They changed, from the second and then into the third too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like 1 to 2 is like there's not as big of a change. Like
they're a little more
cool. They fully changed by 3.
Yeah, there's no Henson afterwards. That's why.
Yeah,
yeah, they got lighter throughout the process. They were really like compared to the first one. I mean, the first one was obviously dark, but the third one they were really light, and they had you could see a lot of dots on them.
It almost reminded me of the Coming Out of Their Shells tour, the way those costumes were. It's like more similar to number 3.
I think that's the same sculpt or mold that they started using. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when I found out that the Turtles could sing, and I've been in love since.
Yeah, and apparently Shredder and Splinter can sing too. So
yeah, what's that Skipping Stone song? Oh my god, I'll never forget. I've seen that movie so many times; it's ridiculous.
I've watched it just the once, actually. That's the only time I've seen it. Man. Yeah, just once. So remember way back, you and I were going to do a thing, and I watched it for that, and it just never kind of panned out. That was the only time I've ever seen it.
Oh, did I introduce you to it?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I was aware of it, but I had never actually seen it. So.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
No, it's not horrible. It is what it is. It's actually not. I can see why kids would have liked it. So
right.
And maybe I would have liked it back then. I have no idea. So
I loved it when I was a kid.
Well, going back to everything, because now we're going to shift back to hardcore horror. So just for everything there, I wanted to ask, do you guys have the websites for the Kickstarters so we could get folks directed over to there?
Yeah, Josh, you want to go first? Your Kickstarter's not up yet, but I'm sure you got the links and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, not in front of me, but I can get them for sure.
All right, no worries.
Right,
I will post.
I'll go first, then.
I will post a link in the show notes and all that. So since it's an audio show, folks will be able to see it. So you're like, check them out here.
Right. So I've actually made my links super easy. I mean, you can just look up Tales of Shock and Terror issue number 1 first off on Kickstarter. It's fairly simple. But if you don't want to do that, you can go and head over to talesfromthepodcast.com. Scroll down. All those little pictures of the Kickstarter images are actually links. Click any of those pictures. It's going to take you right over to the Kickstarter. Go ahead, buy that $70 dealer incentive thing. It's the best deal there is. And, you get Christmas presents for the rest of your family. It's a great thing to do.
I like that. It's very practical. And, whose family can't use 4 covers? I mean, come on. There's one for everyone there.
With that dealer incentive, you're getting 4 of all 4 covers. I mean, you could spread it out throughout the family. I mean, like I said, Christmas shopping all done one time.
Trick or treat.
yeah. If you really want to, I'm down for it. Get 2 of them. I mean, if you got a lot of trick or treaters, you probably want to get a couple of those dealer incentive rates. I mean, realistically, you're going to save the most money with it.
And they'll be signed. They'll be signed now officially.
Yes, they will.
What's the difference on that? Like, do you have to do anything different for sign, like just when they come back, or because I would think you'd want to sign them anyway, right?
Well, I mean, basically any of them that are going to be sold through the Kickstarter, because we're not going to sign every book. We're only going to be signing the ones that are through the Kickstarter. But we did 2 of our stretch goals was me signing one of them, and then our publisher and editor, Josh Nealis, signing it. So
perfect.
We
That's
did
me,
it that
guys.
way because we live close to each other, and it's easy for us to transfer the stuff and not have to pay a ridiculous amount of shipping, and have to go through any of the risks of shipping it to the other people involved and ruining the books either.
Yeah,
So
the fewer
that's why
amount
it's just
times
us.
they're touched. I mean, that's where you go like almost automatically down to a 9.8. And there's so very few perfect 10 books out there. So
I've never seen a perfect 10 book.
I have tried, like we talked about, having my stuff graded. Like I've took it right, from the shipping box, bagged and boarded, put it in a freaking top loader, and sent it to them, and still haven't got a 10. So it's like, geez.
Yeah,
we've seen very few. I think I don't know, Eric. I know we were looking at one maybe like a week or two ago, right? Someone had a perfect 10 book.
Was it
Yeah,
CGC
there's
or that
actually,
other company?
It was I think that was Big Country Comics had it, right?
No. Actually, one of the guys in Columbus that I've been helping get Ronins for, he actually got like one of the rarest medals from the artist Ken Kuka, which there's only like one of these like medals that are made, and he got them from Singapore, and it's signed and remarked, and he got a perfect 10.
Crazy.
That's just crazy. But with the metal covers, I mean, I happen to have one right here, so it's like I could see that happening because it's like just like it said, like the cover is a piece of sheet metal that's like a thin piece. So
Right. Yeah, you're not going to get any of the oils from your hands or anything on it.
Oh, I'm never opening this book in my life. That's just
well,
not
you know
happen.
what I mean, though. Like, even if you do, like, you could just use like some stainless steel polish on it and just get it right back to new.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't want to still even open it though. So, but it's cool. I've seen some before that are made with glass, or some that are made with carbon fiber, and like they're trying like all different kinds of stuff. And glass is just like, that's crazy. But still, you're going to take as much care with a graded book as you can. So it makes sense that if it's glass, there you go. So, but with that, guys, I want to make sure that everybody knows where to find you on social media and all that. I don't want to keep you any longer. It's just I know Josh's got another interview. So where can folks find you on social media? And also, can you just mention about the podcast, where folks can find your podcast there, JB?
All of my links are available at talesfromthepodcast.com. Every picture you see, if you want to listen on audio, and the Apple link is the Apple picture. Every picture is a link to that form of audio. And then scrolling down a little bit more, you'll see like the Instagram picture, the Facebook picture, the group picture. Those are all Facebook links, Instagram links, Twitter links, straight to every single account. So it's simple, easy. I couldn't have made it any easier for anybody to find me. You can check out the podcast. We do live shows every Friday night. I'm not sure the date that this is dropping, but this week, which I believe March 4th, the day that Turkey Sharks 2 Kickstarter is launching, Josh Nealis is going to be on as we talk about the Tales from the Crypt episode, House of Horror, which would be pretty fun. But like I said, every other Friday, check in for a Tales from the Crypt episode. Alternating Fridays, we do a horror film, and it's a lot of fun.
How about you, Josh? Where can folks find you?
Okay, so you got to log into OnlyFans, right? And it's a little cryptic.
They do have an option for that, so you could put out like ASMR video or something, like whatever you wanted to do. Like there is a venue for it.
Yeah, I'll do the tuck and be like, "You want to buy my comic?" But on a serious
that lipstick on.
Yep.
I love it.
Cutthroatcomics.com. We are on Facebook, obviously, Twitter, Instagram, newly on TikTok, as JB is. So you can look up Tales of the Podcast or Cutthroat Comics on TikTok, Snapchat. Just Google Cutthroat Comics and just click all of them. Just all of them.
Cool. That sounds great. Eric, anywhere that you want the folks to find you?
You can find me on Facebook. That's about it.
Eric's over there running the IDW Ninja Turtles group and Epic Shells. You find him there. Myself, you can find me. You can find me in Epic Shells, the Facebook group. Otherwise, look up pretty much everywhere you can find podcasts now. You can find Epic Tales from the Sewers. Big thank you to my guests, JB from Tales for the Podcast and Josh Nealis from Cutthroat Comics. I want to thank everybody, and we will be right back with your pizza recipe.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Adam, aka Casey Jones from Casey Jones Livewire, and you're listening to Epic Tales from the Sewers. Time for a knuckle sandwich, punk.
It's pizza time.
And now, in a segment that we call Pizza Time, where we discuss any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or pizza-related food, I give you Pizza Time.
Hey everyone, today's Pizza Time is called Donnie's Choc-Tato Chip Experiment. Donnie's always in his lab, tinkering away until he comes up with something excitedly unexpected. With this experiment, he learned that melted chocolate and potato chips are a match made in pizza heaven. One is smooth, the other is salty, and together they make one powerful team. Ingredients: cornmeal or flour for dusting, extra virgin olive oil for greasing, 1 pound ball pizza dough, homemade or store-bought, 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter, melted, 1/2 cup chocolate hazelnut spread, 1/4 cup of M&Ms, 1/4 cup of dark or semi-sweetened chocolate chips, small bag of plain salted potato chips. Instructions: you can use either a baking stone or a steel pizza peel. Place your baking stone on the middle rack of the oven and preheat to 500 degrees Fahrenheit for at least 30 minutes. Dust a pizza peel or inverted baking sheet with cornmeal or flour. On a baking sheet, preheat the oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit with a rack in the middle position. Lightly coat with heavy-duty rimmed baking sheet with olive oil. Step 1. Stretch or roll the dough onto a 12-inch disc and place it on the prepared pizza peel or baking sheet. Use your fingers to make dimples all over the dough. This will prevent it from bubbling up in the oven. Step 2. Brush the dough with butter. Then shimmy it from the peel onto the hot baking stone and transfer to the baking sheet to the oven. Step 3. Bake until just the crust is golden, 5 to 7 minutes on the baking stone, or 10 to 12 minutes on the baking sheet. Step 4. Remove the crust from the oven. Step 5. Scoop the chocolate hazelnut spread onto the crust and smooth it out evenly using a spatula or the back of a spoon. Step 6. Top it with M&Ms, chocolate chips, and potato chips, then return the pizza to the oven. Step 7. Bake for about 2 minutes or until the chocolate just begins to melt. Step 8. Remove the pizza from the oven, slice, and serve. This has been Donnie's Choc-Tato Chip Experiment.
Cowabunga, dudes!
Thank you for listening to the Epic Tales from the Sewers podcast. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. This podcast has no affiliation with Eastman, Laird, Mirage Studios, IDW Studios, Archie Comics, or Nickelodeon Studios. This podcast is a member of the Dorkening Podcast Network. Check out thedorkening.com for other podcasts. Epic Tales from the Sewers is recorded by Justin Cooper and Eric Will.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.